The cold air intake, one of the cheapest mods to put on your diesel truck to change the sound and also improve airflow. But does it actually increase power and improve fuel economy? Well, that is what we will be testing in today's video. Installing this Banks ram air intake and then driving over 400 miles and testing our new 0 to 60 speed and fuel economy to see if the cold air intake actually makes a difference.
Right now we are headed to the 0 to 60 spot. What we're going to do first is test the 0 to 60 right in the same spot. So we're going to test it before and then we're going to test it after the cold air intake. I do have a new 0 to 60 with the bigger tires, so I'm actually going to try it on the draggy and show you guys exactly where I'm at baseline. And then I'm also going to be driving 170 miles right now for you guys and testing the before fuel mileage to see kind of where we sit there. And then I'm going to be driving another 150 miles for you guys and seeing where we stand after. This first two-wheel drive test here. All right, so that was 60 right there. Let's go see what our 0 to 60 was. Our 0 to 60 was 7.8 seconds for the 6.7 Powerstroke. With the bigger tires make a huge difference. So now I'm gonna try it on the way back here and see, but we're gonna do it in 4x4 this time, guys. I'm gonna do a 4x4 launch. I'm gonna put it in 4x4. Right, so as you guys can see, we are in 4x4. We're gonna boost it up and get to 60. I'm just gonna boost it to like, I'm not gonna send it too hard. I'm just gonna boost it to like 10 or 11. Here we go. All the way down. All right. That shit scoots. 6.61 0 to 60. So I'm gonna try the 0 to 60 on the exact same road, exact same spot, and exact same everything. I'm also gonna be doing the fuel mileage test. So our baseline 0 to 60, two-wheel drive was 7.8 seconds, and then 4x4 was 6.61 seconds. Diesel is $3.39. Filling her up. Guys, so just clicked off $64.63, 19 gallons. We're gonna reset it there, and then I'm gonna go to my trip A to B, and I'm also gonna reset all this. So that's all reset. Whenever I come back into the gas station and fill up, I'm gonna see how far we went, and then I'm gonna take that and divide it by the gallons that we put in the tank and see exactly what our mileage is there, as well as the actual screen display, what it says. Also in this video, I'm gonna be cruising exactly 70 miles an hour. I'm gonna set it on the cruise control, and it's gonna be between 65 and 75 the whole way there. So I'm gonna be doing the exact same thing after I install the ram air intake. So cruise control is set. So we've been cruising at about 70 miles an hour for about 90 miles. The reason I am doing it on cruise control is so that way we get a better, accurate fuel mileage test, because if we were to not, we would be able to use the hills with momentum for the actual fuel mileage. So we'd be able to use the hill to go down and the hill to go up. With this case, terrain has nothing to do with the actual fuel mileage, because you're going to be using the same amount of gas to get up the hill and to go down the hill. We are also driving the exact same roads as well. This would not work if we were not driving the exact same roads. You can see in the rearview mirror there, that is a tire balancer. So our before fuel mileage, the tire balancer was about 15.4, and that was driving about 90 miles. I'm gonna drive the remaining 90 miles and see what kind of different fuel economy we get. But this is kind of what I'm baseline I'm gonna test it on, is about 15.4 for the factory fuel economy. We got 15.5 miles per gallon, and we drove about 180 miles. So that's kind of where about we're gonna be sitting at. So I'm gonna go actually put the cold air intake on right now, and then we're gonna go ahead and do some sound tests with it, and then I'm also gonna be doing the 0 to 60 and then restart basically, and make sure that that fuel mileage on the gauge is actually the accurate fuel mileage that we got to the pump.
So we first started by loosening all the hose clamps holding on the factory intake. We were then able to unscrew the bolt holding the factory airbox onto the truck. From there, we removed our mass airflow sensor and pulled our old air intake out.
So in front of me, we have the two different air filters, one being the factory one and then one being the Banks ram air. One of the biggest things that I noticed that the ram air intake offers over the factory one is that it outflows the factory intake by 26%, which in turn adds more air to your turbo and engine, and in return a little bit more power. So we're gonna see exactly if we can transform that power to the ground and get a better 0 to 60 speed and better fuel mileage with this. So this is our factory filter right here. As you guys can see, factory filter, and this is our cold air intake. I see a lot of people going with a Canon air intake for a lot of their trucks, and I actually went with one for my 6.0 Powerstroke. If you are doing just quick little rips, it's a decent air intake to go with, just a Cannon with no box. But if you are looking to get better MPGs and better performance overall out of your truck, then making sure that you have a box around your intake is actually gonna be pretty crucial because it keeps the hot air from the engine bay out, and it does help out a lot. So that's why we got a box cold air intake. So as you guys can see the difference in the filters, this is the factory one, and then this is the ram air intake filter.
My technician Justin had to go home, so I decided to finish most of the install by myself. I then built the new Banks ram air intake and installed my new air filter. From there, I reused the factory pipes from the old air intake and installed my Banks ram air intake to it. I then tightened everything down, and it's time to see if this cold air intake makes a difference.
Clamp, so now we're gonna see the real sound here. I'm gonna give her a hard rev. Sounds freaking awesome, guys. Woo, way different.
Currently day 3 of this little project of the cold air intake video on my 6.7 Powerstroke, and right now what we're gonna do is wheel it out, show you guys. I'm gonna do like a brake boosted launch right in the shop here and show you guys exactly how it sounds.
Guys know that everything that we did in this YouTube video is actually done at my automotive shop called PSC Automotive. If you guys want to bring your diesel truck into my shop, it's located here in Bryan, Texas. We do everything from diesels to Honda Civics. If you want something done, we can do it here.
All right, so here we go. Open road. Oh yeah, it spools a lot quicker. Holy shit. Damn. Thing moves. Usually I would not be at 10 to 20 PSI right there, and I am. So let me show you guys that. He's spooling it up here. That's halfway. Holy, look how fast. Crazy enough, guys, that's only half throttle. That is half throttle. That is the crazy part. Like, I'm not even all the way down. If I was all the way down, we'd be pushing close to 40. I'm curious to see the 0 to 60 now, so I'm gonna show you guys that here in a second. So we're fixing to do the first 2-wheel drive 0 to 60 speed after the cold air intake install. Let's do it. So our before was 7.8 seconds. Let's see if we can beat that now. Boost it up. All the way down. Spun out a little bit there in the beginning, so let's see what the draggy says. 0 to 60 was 8.24. I want to try it one more time because that was a little bit lousy because the beginning we spun out so much. Try it one more time here. I'm not going to boost it up as much. We're just going to send it at about 1 to 2 PSI, like right when it starts lifting off the boost gauge. One more time, 2-wheel drive, guys. I'm just going to boost it up really quick and send it. That was 60, so. .17, so we weren't able to beat the 0 to 60 record, but now I'm gonna try the 4x4 and see if we're able to shave any time off with the cold air intake. We're gonna put in 4x4, 4 high, and we are going to try the 0 to 60 here. I'm gonna boost it up to about 8. Golly. All right, 60 right there. Holy f***, that was fast as shit. 0 to 30 right away. 0 to 60 or 30 to 60, nah. Yeah, 6.67 seconds, 0 to 60. If we really wanted to get a faster 0 to 60, you'd need a little bit more air. That cold air intake is gonna help you suck more air in after you put the more air. What I mean by more air is a bigger turbo. Same 0 to 60 on 4x4, same 0 to 60 on 2x4, or yeah, 2x4. Now I really wanna see, my next test is going to be the fuel mileage. Okay, filling her up. 13.039 gallons, trip A to B, 205.2 miles total driven at 15 miles per gallon. 205.2 divided by 13.039. It says we actually burned 13.6 on the odometer. So we got 15.7 miles per gallon, which is actually 0.7 miles per gallon better than what we got on the odometer. So it's about 0.7 miles per gallon off on the odometer. So we need to keep that in mind whenever doing the next test. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset the trip, I'm gonna reset the fuel mileage test, and then we're gonna drive the next deal, and I'm gonna come right back to this exact pump and fill up and see exactly what our fuel mileage is.
You can see right there, we got the cruise control set, and we're going as fast as the person in front of us, which is actually 12, so.
We're actually 2.1 miles away from the destination that we originally started at to pick up the tire balancer before we put the cold air intake on it, and we're at 15.2 miles per gallon. So not too sure how much difference it actually makes. I still have another 90 to 100 miles to drive, so I really wanna see it then. Well, I am shocked, boys. We were actually able to rally the fuel mileage on the way back, and we actually were able to get it up above where we were when we started. So the cold air intake looks like it did make a little bit of a difference. Let me show you guys the fuel mileage, drum roll please. And it is 15.8 miles per gallon, as you guys can see right there. That is about what we're sitting at for the cold air intake. This exact same drive, cruising at exactly 65 miles an hour, 0.2 miles per gallon extra with the cold air intake, a little bit better increase in fuel mileage. The biggest difference that I see that the cold air intake makes is spool up time. Actually able to spool up to 10-20 PSI pounds of boost, 2 times faster than when I didn't have the cold air intake on. A little bit better fuel economy if you are looking to kind of improve your efficiency and actually get better airflow, get quicker spool up times, especially if you have an aftermarket turbo and you have a bigger turbo already, you're gonna wanna put this exact cold air intake on it. I am selling these exact cold air intakes in the description down below, and if you're local in the area or you want to bring your truck in from out of state, I have my own automotive shop called PSC Automotive in Bryan, Texas. We can install this exact cold air intake for you. We can bring it, buy it for you, get it in. We are actually dealers for Banks Power, so we can actually get the cold air intake in from Banks for you guys and actually install everything at my automotive shop called PSC Automotive.